Hey guys, so welcome back to the podcast, and you're listening to the Traveling Pants of a Single Mom. And today I have a new homie, Wayne. How are you?
I'm good.
And he is the founder of H9NU. H9NU?
Yeah.
Okay.
They say H9NU.
Okay, so break that down for me. How do you spell it out? Which I guess people can already see it right here. Because I'm repping. Oh yeah, you know we repping. So break it down. What does it mean? And what does the H9NU mean?
Okay, so H9NU basically means to give praise. Okay. It's ancient Egyptian. So we had the H9NU, but we took out the E and put the 9 because in numerology, 9 stands for wisdom.
Okay.
You know, but also 9 is a powerful number just on its own.
Right.
So I'll go deep into that, you know what I mean, later on. But just the reason why we chose the 9 is because in numerology, 9 stands for wisdom.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
All right, so normally I start off with the H9NU. The name is like so dope. I wanted to start off with getting a little breakdown of what it means.
Okay. But
tell the viewers a little bit about yourself. Who are you and what do you do?
Okay, well, my name is Wayne. I'm the founder of H9NU. I'm originally from New York, but I've been living in South Florida for about a long time now. I don't want to give my age up. But I've been here for a while, and I always wanted to kind of get into the whole clothing thing, you know, but I didn't know what direction to go because I originally started off with a family member, but that didn't really work out for me. Mm-hmm. Because I didn't know a lot of the logistics of how the business worked and stuff like that. So when I branched off on my own, I was kind of lost for a little bit, I'm not gonna front, but I saw the Dame Dash on the Breakfast Club.
Right.
And he was going in just about how to be an entrepreneur and not work for nobody and things like that, and that is exactly what got me.
Right.
So from that situation, my own personal situation happened with me and my partner. We were expecting 2 twins, and they didn't make it. Basically, they transitioned on. So we basically combining their names, well, not their names, their middle names, Heru and Nuru, and that's how you got the H and the N.
Oh, okay.
Right, so that's how she was the one that basically came up with the whole H9NU, you know what I mean? And then I did the due diligence and looking up and making sure that it's something that we can actually use.
Right.
You just can't,
Right.
People may say they come up with stuff, but you gotta go follow up and make sure that you can use it.
Right.
So I did the research, and that's how I found out that in ancient Egypt it means to give praise. And then the number 9, she had a dream, and that's how she found out that she was pregnant, because she had a dream of the number 9 in her dream. And also in the dream significance, 9 meaning the 9 cycles of birth. That's how we use the number 9.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
Nice. So it all just connected.
Exactly.
Nice. So how did you come up with the names? Because you said, what were the 2 names?
Heru and Nuru.
Oh, okay. Did those have any? Did they mean anything, like those names?
Well, those names were derived from ancient Egypt as well.
Okay.
Heru meaning the sun god, and Nuru meaning born at night.
Oh, nice. Okay, so y'all was going deep with it. I like that.
Yeah.
So my homegirl Matine says she loved your logo. She said it's super dope.
Thank you, Matine.
Yes. So that's it. That's all you want to tell about yourself? Nothing. You did go deep into other things, but nothing more about who you are and what you do.
Well, me personally, I'm an influencer, also a creator. So me getting involved in the whole entrepreneurship, I'm not gonna lie, it is new for me, but I've been adapting very well, and I learn every single day. So that's just my whole thing. I've been about positivity and motivating people as well along this journey, and this whole journey of entrepreneurship has just been working well for me.
Nice. So I like to ask, when people come onto the show, how did we connect? How did we make our connection?
Me and you? Well, give a shout out to Tasha. You know what I'm saying? She not here, but much love. Just me seeing you from Instagram and seeing your hustle. You know what I mean? And seeing one day I was going through, people who buy from me my orders, and I'm like, okay, who's Natasha Combs? I'm like, yo, she bought something for me. I'm like, yo, I don't even know her, because sometimes you be thinking that it's gonna be people that and then I'm like, yo, I don't even know her. So I felt like that was just a good situation there. But Tasha, whatever, me and Tasha knew each other way back from like middle school. So I guess that's how that whole connect came. But Natasha showed me love, and I gotta appreciate that. She went on the cruise and everything like that, and took the crop top like she's wearing now. So it's like
it on there like shout out to H9NU.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So I appreciated that, but social media and not just social media. Sorry, I apologize, but just that connection from the person that I knew, it just showed that love, and that's why I'm here.
Right. So on my end, basically what he said, when Tosh and Jason was on the show, we used to do the Black Owned Business shout out, and Tosh had shout out your business. And when I was going through, when I do the shout out, I go on IG and I get products that the person is selling, and I put at least 4 products in the picture. And when I was going through looking like, okay, I like that, that's dope, I like his style, I like what he got going on. So that's when I was like, yeah, let me go ahead and buy me a little crop top. I was in my little crop top phase. Thank you. So I was like, let me go ahead and buy me a little crop top and support, because what I don't want to just do the shout outs, I want to support the business that I'm shouting out. And if it's something that I will wear or something that I like, I'm all for it. So that was my thing. Like, I like this, I did a shout out, I don't want to just shout these people out, I want to also support their business as well. So
see
you're right. Right. So that's how that started. And then from there it was like, okay, you show love, I'm gonna show love too. So I also appreciate you being on the show. I think I touched base a little bit, and I just wanted to thank you for booking this interview, because as I told you yesterday, I was like this close to stopping the podcast, this close. And
I'm glad you did.
Sometimes it's hard, trying to do your own thing is hard. People see you doing stuff, they feel like, oh, she out here, she got it, she doing, what I'm saying, like all this stuff. When really, I'm just trying to pave a way for myself.
Yeah, you just trying to come up.
Right.
Yeah. And
so I was, out here trying to do this, and it started to become hard. Things started happening in my life, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and stop the podcast.
Yeah. But
then I remember this dude done bought his ticket, was already coming, booked the interview, and was like, dang, Tosh, you can't stop. So I do want to also thank you for booking, because honestly, this interview is the pushing force. Like, yo, you can't stop. This man, and if it was anybody else or somebody local, I probably just would have been like, man, you know what, I can't, or I have to read the book, something like that. But knowing that you done put out to come be on the show, it was like, nah, you can't stop. So I do want to thank you for booking,
of course.
And to be on my show, because it's like, just people coming and supporting is like the best feeling ever.
Exactly.
You're
right.
So, but I did want to know, how did you start your business? Like, what gave you the drive? Like, how long ago did you start it, and what gave you the drive to start that urban wear? That's what you would consider it, urban wear?
Correct.
Okay.
Well, basically, it started last year, and
okay, so it's fresh.
It's still fresh. But when I officially came up with the idea, it was in 2016, because I was trying to work with a family member, and your family gonna be there for you, ting like that. But I was basically doing a lot of the legwork, which they call, sweat equity. And when it came down time to the paperwork, it wasn't looking right.
Right.
You know, I was like, yo, what's good? What's going on? I came up with the logo, all of this, all of that. So when that happened, I pulled away. And then when I was just saying, when I saw that interview with David Dash on the Breakfast Club, and he was getting at Charlamagne and them about, man, you don't own your own business, you're not setting nothing up for your kids. It sparked something in me because around that time I was going through that personal situation with my partner where we was losing our twins, and I've been at my job for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And when that situation happened and I was asking them for time off, it was like, well, you know, we'll let you know.
Right.
I'm like, what?
Right.
Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
I've been working here for like 15 years. Like, what you mean you don't let me know?
You
supposed to be like, okay, I'm not telling you I want to go on no vacation. I'm telling you I'm trying to go be there. You know what I'm saying? This is a real life, you know, situation. And when I listen to that podcast, it just clicked for me, and it's like, yo, you can do all the time and serve all the years you want on somebody else's job.
You don't mean nothing. You don't mean nothing.
You know what I'm saying?
Nothing, like, at all.
At all.
Like, you're replaceable at the end of the day, just like that.
Like that.
It's
you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yo, that's the sad part.
Yeah.
That's you put.
But that's the awakening for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't like to cry over spilled milk. Right. I did the time. That's what I did. And that was just an awakening for me. And I'm like, you know what? I got to do my own thing. You know what I mean? And I was like, you know, what can I do to really express myself? Because I'm an expressive type of person.
Right.
And I'm like, you know what? Clothing. You know what I mean? I could do clothing.
Right.
And that's why I got into it with my cousin. But, you know, that didn't work out. So that ended the time there. And then that's where me and my partner kind of came together. And that's where you have H9NU, who sprung up, you know.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things you've learned so far about being an entrepreneur?
Why did I just say that? I learned a lot, man. I learned at the end of the day, it's the difference between trying to front for social media versus trying to actually have a business set up for yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you can post pictures all you want all day.
Right.
But your likes don't equate to revenue.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I had to learn how to set myself up, make sure I'm an entity, make sure that my logo is trademarked. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that I'm trying to establish business credit to separate myself from trying to focus on business to consumer versus business to business.
Right.
Because that's where the real money is going to come in at. And understanding that everybody not going to support you. Like the people that you probably been riding with for the longest and everybody your dog and, you know, we chilling and all that type of stuff. That ain't going to happen when it's time for you to run your own.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got to make sure you wake up real quick.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like real fast because you could be chilling with a person all the time. I be on the phone talking, yo girl, this girl did this and da. But when it's time to come and say, yo, I got a business conference to go to that they're going to teach us how to get our credit score to 800. Oh man, I ain't got time for that. You know,
you learn real quick.
Yeah. So I have to learn who's going to really be there for me and who's not. And not everybody that start with you is going to be there at the finish. And you're going to have more people that you don't know.
Right.
That's probably going to support you because they're seeing you at this level that you're at right now. A lot of your friends, they're seeing you as like, okay, yeah, we used to Wayne, you know, acting up, whatever. Man, he ain't no business, man.
He ain't nobody.
Yeah, he ain't nobody.
Right.
His shit ain't never gonna pop. It ain't Ralph, though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But the minute it's hanging up in Macy's or whatever, then they gonna, you know, like once you pop, that's when people be like, oh, okay, that's when they come. But when you hustling and you graveling to get to the top, that's you know, people just looking like, oh, that's just, you know what I'm saying? And then they don't come through. And it's funny you went into that because I was gonna ask you about that. Like, how is it with the support from friends, from family, and you know, do you get more support from people you don't even know? Like, because I'm noticing that with me trying to step out and do my own thing, that yo, people that I've never met in my life, yo, they be riding for me like riding. They be there, they be knowing like, yo, you didn't post this week. What's up? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They come in, they check on you. They be like, listen, what? They send you motivational words when they see that. Okay, you might be feeling a little down. It be the people you never even met.
Yeah.
That be there, and that, you know, that's what I'm gonna ask. Like that transition from regular Wayne to business Wayne.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's been like a journey.
Yeah. No, you're right. I'm glad you asked that because it's definitely been eye-opening at the end of the day, because there's people that I've vibed with on an everyday basis, and now that things transpired, like, I'm not even gonna front, I didn't know how important as a clothing line, how to have business reviews. You know what I'm saying? And I've asked people that actually purchased, not just asking anybody like, yo, just put a business. No, people that actually purchased things that, you know, that I knew. And you would have swore I was asking for people's social security card.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. Oh, I'll let you know when I can do it.
Right.
I'll get back to you.
Right.
You know? No, I'm telling you, the support is not there.
It's not, like,
It
and I think
from strangers, man.
right, and I think you made a good point. I think just now, but then yesterday, you had made a good point when you said that people are used to you on a certain level.
Correct.
And when you try to start leveling it up, they just be looking like, you know, like who she or he thinks they are. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you that was taking calls the other day.
Right. You call Natasha. You know what I'm saying? Like, you Tasha. Like, what you think? But at the end of the day, it's always a time in your life that you gotta experience. Everybody have a calling.
Of course.
Everybody was put on this earth, and everybody has a calling. And you know what I'm saying? When it's time to tap in, it's time to tap in.
Yeah, you're right.
And people just don't understand when you try to tap in and you're like trying to move on with your life and try to do, you know, betterment, right? Grow. That's all it's about. Like you said, I'm not trying to work for somebody my entire life.
No.
And I'm sure, like you said, that's a eye opener. You going through a life-changing experience, you know what I'm saying? Something that's huge, but they gotta let you know. You know what I'm saying? And when you run your own stuff, when you become your own boss, you can do things the way you need to have them done.
You can spend time with your kids. Right. I done seen my bosses and managers leave because they dog sick.
Right.
And I'm over here telling you, yo, my son got a graduation. You know. See what's on the calendar.
Right. Like, but meanwhile, they living their best life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, meanwhile, they living their best life. But we on the phones or whatever it is that we doing, and we can't make no moves. You know what I'm saying?
And then there's no complaining about that. At the end of the day, that's just the situation that we're in. What I would say to anybody that's in a regular 9 to 5, you have to make that work for you. Like what I did, I was a normal guy that's always been on the phones. But what I did was I decided to say, hey, you know what? If this is where I'm at, I'm going to try to evolve within the company. Right. Make more funds at the end of the day, but I'm going to learn more things on a business aspect so I can take those ideologies and use that in my own business. Right. You understand what I'm saying? Because there's no point of crying over spilled milk. Like, this is where we got to work, you know, unless you got some other plan. Unless you got some other plan, this is what you got to do. You got to take them phone calls, but if you don't want to be on the phones, like I said, hey, I was right there. Auto win. You know? I'm still there. I'm still there. Like auto in. Like that too many bells. But nah, I ain't trying to auto win. So what I did was, I asked other departments, yo, how can I help? I changed up my dress code. I started coming to work dapper, you know, wearing ties and stuff like that. And I started getting recognized by managers and clients, and I started doing interviews, and I moved on to quality. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm still on the plantation, but I'm just on another side of it. Right. But at the same time, I learned more versus just sitting here hitting all the win and just complaining. Right. Because you can't complain. Right. Unless you got some other type of plan, this is what you got to do.
Right.
And the more you complain, the more you're putting out into the universe that this is what you want. So sometimes I believe in positive affirmations. So even though you're not having the situation right at this current moment, you have to put out there what you want.
Right.
So if you want success, you have to say, hey, I am Tasha. I believe that my life is going to be great in abundance.
Yeah,
I love my job. My job is great, and I get all the great opportunities that I'm supposed to get. It might not be happening right now,
but you putting it in the universe.
Exactly.
And you know what? At the end of the day, I needed this speech. I needed this. You know what you're saying right now is like literally what I need, because that's my situation. That auto in. I can't. Like that word is like a curse.
That auto
in. Please. Like they be coming with the laptop. Auto in. I be like, yo, son, I can't. So.
Auto in.
There's a curse right there. That auto in.
I feel you.
Like I've been off for a few days, so when you said auto in, it made me shake. Like yo, auto in. I ain't had that in a few days. I'm not about that, but you're right. Like
I feel you.
I've been doing a lot of complaining about that auto in. I've been complaining like yo, that auto in.
And it's a mind thing.
Right. It's time for me to just make a change. Like at the end of the day, it starts with me. And that's true. You know, I have to start saying like, yo, I love this job, or I love, you know what I'm saying? Just bring that positive, you know, feedback into my life so that, you know, because my goal right now is to get up off them phones.
Yeah. But at the same time, this is what the situation is. Like, I know a homegirl that just complain all the time. Oh, this, that. And then when they fire her, but you just said F this job.
Right.
So what you think the universe was going to bring you?
Right.
You asked for this. Biggie and Pac, they spoke about death all the time. Them brothers died.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because look at what they was rapping about. So I believe that there's power in the tongue.
Right.
You have to be careful about what you speak. You know what I'm saying? So at the same time, that's the thought process that I have, and I've seen it grow for me. You talking about a brother who went 2 years without no job. I went 2 years and had no job. My car was broke down. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't get a gig, and you talking about me who was always able to get a job, and I wasn't. And when I started to change my thought process, that is when I finally got a job. Got my car back, got my license. I didn't even have a license. I was on the bus. I think the bus is like the last place before you become a bum. Like for real. I was on the bus with a phone, and it was grown people on there like, yo, bro, can I use your phone?
Really?
And I'm like, damn, you don't use my phone? Okay, go ahead, use it. And I felt like that was a privilege for me to have.
Right.
So I just started to speak positive within myself, and got a better job, got my car back, got my license back, got my own place.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But you know what? It's about, like Drake said, it started from the bottom, now we here. I think that when you go through experiences like that,
those trials,
you are able to appreciate when you grow.
You're right.
You're able to appreciate it.
You're
like
supposed to.
Yeah, it makes you understand the beauty of it. Cause when you go through the bottom and you go through stuff, cause like I ain't gonna front right now as we speak, I'm going through something. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I know that my podcast is my baby. This is it. This is my thing. I'm trying to grow it. So I can't stop. And God telling me can't stop, won't stop. Cause now you got this interview right. It's like, yo, can't stop, won't stop. But what I'm going through right now is going to help me appreciate, like, yo, Tosh, when things get back right, you gotta appreciate every minute, every moment. Don't take nothing for granted. Just appreciate and then just get your stuff in order. It's the truth, though.
And that defines your character. You can't just be talking positive affirmations when everything is sunny and gloomy.
Right.
Sunny and bright.
Right. And you know that's the test, though. The test, I caught myself when I was going through the trial. As I'm going through the trial, I caught myself. I was like, like I told you, I had to catch up on some of my podcasts and put them on other platforms. And as I'm listening, I'm like, okay, things was good at that time. So I'm like, yes, positive, positive. And then when something happened, it was like, I did. All that, when I'm telling you, if you're going through this and if you're going through that, make sure you keep your head up, all that, done. And then I was going through something, I damn near went into a depression. I'm like, damn. But then I had to realize, like, this is gonna make me a better person.
Exactly.
This is gonna make my business a better business. This is gonna tell a better story. You can't be out here telling people to keep their head up.
I know, right?
And then you go through something and you down here like, I'm fit to quit. I can't do this. My life about to end. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you're right. It goes.
So it does. And this actual situation had me realize, it's like at the end of the tunnel.
That's hard.
And next week, in 2 weeks, maybe a month from now, you ain't even gonna remember you going through this test. You know what I'm saying? So it's always good to practice what you preach. I'm I always tell people, like, I might say things, but I'm referring to myself too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to uplift myself too. I'm not out here trying to make it seem like I got it all together. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's easy. No, I'm going through stuff.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the test is to continue and keep going through the trials and tribulations. Yeah, you're good. You're breastfeeding?
You're probably good.
Nah, I'm just joking. But let's get into one of these questions.
Okay.
What is the influence you want your brand to have in the community?
I want my brand to influence basically culture, because if you look at the slogan, it's fashion in tune with culture.
Right.
When I say culture, I mean hip hop culture. Because I'm from New York originally. Queens all day. Jersey. Yeah, just up north. Period.
Right.
Also coming down here to the south. But definitely hip hop, because that's what I was raised on. Biggie, Jay-Z, Wu-Tang.
You better not leave out my homeboy, Nas.
Oh, of course you gotta.
Oh, okay.
You gotta put Esco in there.
Yes. Nas the Esco to Escobar. Now he is Nostradamus.
Okay.
That's my boy right there.
Yeah, you gotta put Esco in there.
Yes.
Of course, there's no hip hop without Esco.
Yes.
Especially that whole Jay-Z and Nas beef. Who you think won on that though?
Of course.
Nas, yeah. No, Nas won, yeah.
Nah, that's my boy. Jay-Z, he was there. But I just love Nas. I mean, that was, he's not doing much wrong.
No, he's doing
right now.
But he's killing it in the business world.
Oh.
You know how much stocks that he put in that's actually cashing out right now?
Really?
Yeah, so even though Nas stayed quiet and Jay-Z was loud, he came on the low. And even I learned the other day, like with one of the verses that Jay-Z put out was false. When he was saying that he owned Nas Publishing, it is actually written, one of Nas, it was written that Nas owns Jay-Z's publishing.
Oh, really?
Yes, if you watch one of DJ Vlad's videos, and because Jay-Z speaks about who he paid, which was Search Likes Publishing, actually, Jay-Z had to pay Nas.
Oh,
and Nas didn't even blow him up on that, and he could have if he really wanted to.
Humble.
Yeah, he stayed humble, and he's getting his money on the back end, because at the end of the day, Nas didn't have to sell his soul. So at the end of the day, if you're talking about real hip hop, you gotta mention Esco. Yeah. But culture, in my regards, that's what I'm talking about. And the other point which I'm speaking about in terms of culture is ancient culture.
Okay.
Ancient culture in terms of African history, where we come from just as a people.
Nice.
I like to incorporate those things with my line and everything that I'm doing, because that's just who I am as an individual.
Nice. Yeah. So because I follow the business, I see that you've done some your clothes has been on some runway shows. Yeah. So tell us a little bit about. I want to know, how did your brand get discovered for you to be on the runway show?
Wow. Well, I gotta give love to my homegirl Bettina, who's the owner of Fashion Takeout. If it wasn't for her, like I can't even front. Like she was the first one that actually discovered H9NU and asked me to feature my pieces in her line in the Florida Fashion Week.
Wow.
Yeah. Shout out to Patina.
Yeah.
Fashion Takeout. Yeah. And I was like, yo, that's crazy. And I met up with her just like I met up with you yesterday. We met up because I like to meet up just to make sure we on the same mental page.
Right.
And then we met up. Me and the sister, we was here. She's originally from Jersey.
Yes.
And we was just clicking. You know, we had the same mindset on consciousness. And if you go on my Instagram page now, yeah, she actually put my pieces on her models in the Florida Fashion Week. And that's how I met a lot of other just like photographers and models and things like that. So Patina, she definitely took a chance in me, and I show her much props for that. And she got her own boutique down in Fort Lauderdale, and she has my pieces there at her store.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Nice. I was like, yes, he doing big things. When I seen those pictures on your page, like the runway, I was like, okay, we take it to the next level. And I do also see you do some photo shoots.
Yeah. Well, it was like I said, from her where I met B Fly. That's basically like a fashion model agency, and they have their own photography agency. And I met them there at the Florida Fashion Week. And me and B Fly's photographer Reggie, we clicked, and his daughter is basically Ashley. She's like a supermodel now. She's be in New York Fashion Week and all that stuff. And they basically came down. We was in South Beach, and they did a whole photo shoot with myself.
Yeah, I saw that. Well, I saw pictures of the photo shoot, and I'm like, yes, out here making moves.
Yeah.
It was dope.
So it was just like love and like who you know.
Right.
You know? And people seeing like what you're doing, and they were just all the way genuine.
Right.
You know what I mean? And me and Reggie, like he did 2 photo shoots with me. He did one with his 2 daughters and Ruben. Ruben is a model out of Miami. He's also an actor. You can see that on my page. I used it in pictures and stuff like that. And the one we did at the Miami Heat Stadium, you know, and it's just been all love.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how many fashion shows have you done so far?
Well, I did 2 that actually featured my pieces. But my partner, she's also a model, D Models. She's done probably about 3 fashion shows so far. She has one coming up in February, Mimi's Boutique. But where they featured the pieces, it was at the Florida Fashion Show, and this fashion show that just passed the other day in Little Haiti, Miami, the Walk Fashion Show.
Nice.
With D-Saw. He's basically a denim designer, so he makes anything that you have in denim.
Oh.
Yeah, and he featured 2 of my pieces in his actual lineup.
Nice.
Yeah.
So how did it feel to see your pieces walking down the runway?
It was just crazy to see it. I can't even front. Like everything is still new to me, you know, because like I said, I only started this year.
Right.
I've just been so much on the grind, but when I saw it, I'm just like, wow, like there go my idea
right there.
And I feel like, you know, when you put out the hard work, you can see it coming to fruition.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah,
so,
it was just a lovely feeling.
You said you started this year, right?
Yeah.
And for you to have started your brand this year, you know what I'm saying? That's the hustle.
Yeah.
You hustling, because if you just started your brand and you already having your pieces walking down the runway, that means you out there putting that work in to get your brand out there. And people talk about all the time not getting opportunities, but what I'm learning is the only way to get opportunities is to put yourself out there. You know what I'm saying? Like if you don't put yourself out there, you're not gonna get those opportunities. People are coming onto my show because I'm putting myself out there. I'm reaching out, like, yo,
yeah, you are.
You're dope. you want to be on my show?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be like that till I get hot. And people going to be hitting me up like, yo.
You're already hot.
Thank you. They're going to be hitting me up like, yo, can I be on your show? Which I've gotten some inquiry. Like, people are reaching out now. But that's all behind the hustle.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you telling that so because you just started, but guess what? People see you and they like, yo,
yeah,
I want your pieces, or can you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's super dope. I can't even imagine like seeing your stuff walk down the runway because I was proud and I was like, yo, when you see it, no, for real, because you gotta respect the hustle, and when you see that people are stepping up, leveling up, it's like, yo, it makes you proud because it's hard out here. It's hard.
You're right.
It's hard. So when you
sorry.
No, you good.
But that's why you gotta work, like what you were saying. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people don't realize you have to put in the work. You gotta put in the sacrifice. What are you willing to sacrifice to make this situation happen?
Right.
Because like I said, we could always complain about the 9 to 5, but then that's why we praise Friday, but then we hate Monday. Right. You know, but at the same time, Friday ain't no day off. Right. You get the, you know what I'm saying? You gotta stay up late. Don't sit down here and tell me like, oh, it's late. No, I don't want to hear that. Because if you can do overtime for your job, stay till 12, why you can't do that for your own business?
Right.
So I believe at the same time, when it comes to those days off, no. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm getting up at 6. I don't care. But at the same time, what I will say, not to throw things off, in order for you to do that, your health has to be at a certain point. Right. You can't be eating burgers and chicken wings and eating pizza and all this type of, I mean, you can do that because you're very melanated, but at the same time, if you want to reach your maximum potential, you have to have a better diet. Because I can't even front. Like when I was like 30 years old and I was eating everything under the sun, I was never a morning person. Right. When I changed my diet and cut out, I'm not saying I don't eat chicken at all, but I cut it out to a certain extent. And when I went to more of the pescatarian, plant-based type of diet, and I put more supplements in my diet, I'm up at 6.
Right, you up and at 'em.
Yeah, and I can stay up till 1. And still get up at 6 and not be tired and work an 8-hour shift and go to the gym and do the things that I had to do. Right. You can't do that if you eating Popeye's chicken and your dinner is pizza and pepperoni every day. You drinking soda. You're not drinking no water whatsoever. You're not going to be able to function. So I believe that your diet plays a huge part.
I got to do better with my diet. Yeah, I got to do better.
That's just my opinion.
No, and it's true. It's facts.
I'm not telling nobody.
No, it's facts because when I know that when I eat and I eat recklessly, I feel the most sluggish. Yeah. Like when my kids went away for the summer, I was like, yo, they gone, I'm not cooking, nothing. Let me tell you something, I felt horrible. Yeah. Eating out all the time, just like, yo, they not here, I'm not about to cook. Yo, your body don't feel right, it don't function the same. So I definitely know the difference.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I still gotta do better though.
Well, I mean, at least you admitted it.
Yeah, I gotta do better.
That's half the battle.
Oh, God. So, what do you enjoy most about being would you consider yourself a fashion designer? Or
fashion designer?
What do you consider yourself?
I would just like to say an entrepreneur and the owner of a clothing line. I think a fashion designer is more of someone that actually makes their own clothes. Right. You know what I mean? I don't make no clothes. I can barely even sew. So I wouldn't say I'm a fashion designer. I would just say like the owner of a clothing line.
Okay. So what do you enjoy most about being an entrepreneur and the owner of your own clothing line?
Just understanding that I'm getting closer and closer to being an entrepreneur. That I'm being free.
Right, free,
Walking away from the matrix.
Right. Right.
And I'm not gonna lie, I do enjoy just the process of it. Like the continuous moving and not having to think that, okay, somebody's over me. But I know how to make these own moves, you know, because we don't realize, like, once we unplug from the situation that we're in, how sufficient that we can really be.
Right.
You know, because we're always just so prone that we gotta, you know, thank you for calling.
Right.
You know, but once you are taken away from that, you could probably go do your own thing.
Right.
You know, so
people don't know, they scared.
Exactly.
They're scared.
It's the paycheck, because when you're working, you're guaranteed, like, I got paid today.
Right.
You know, right? So that check was there Friday morning. But when you're an entrepreneur, you don't know. Yeah, you don't know when that check gonna be there. You see me?
That's the issue. Like, even with myself, like, that's the scary part. That's the scary part of saying, okay, take that leap, because if them funds ain't coming in, if you ain't getting that Cash App coin drop. If you ain't getting that all the time, then you know, like, a lot of people like, I got bills, I have kids, you know. So it is definitely hard to make that step to say, all right, boom, I'm just gonna be a full-on entrepreneur. I'm just gonna go ahead and do my own thing. Like, it's definitely a hard process, but
that's why you gotta grind.
Yeah, that's why you have to grind. And you will know when it's the right time to make that move. Like, people say, you know, I talk with a lot of entrepreneurs, and they always say, listen, I knew it was that time. Like, I knew it was time for me to step away and branch away from the 9 to 5 and do my own thing. I can't wait till I get that sign, though. I can't wait. Like, it's time, Tasha. It's time. It's time for you to let it go. And I ain't nowhere near, but I can't wait for that to happen. But what are some words of encouragement for people around the world that wants to make a bold move and starting their own business, or starting anything, you know, their own business or something, their own business, basically?
Okay. I would just say, know what you want to do. Keep your circle tight, because you are who you hang around. Right. You know, and you got to understand that your circle might have to decrease. You know, and you got to be disciplined, and you got to be consistent. Right. And I focus on discipline because people look at discipline as like, I take this from Will Smith. We think discipline is like, you know, hey, you did something wrong. No, discipline might be like, hey, you know what? It's Friday night. I want to turn up at the club, but I got a business plan to write. So I'm gonna stay home and write this business plan because this is what's gonna get me to the next step. That's discipline. Right. You know, I want to eat this box of donuts, but I'm probably gonna put on like 10 pounds. So let me not do that right now, and let me go hit this treadmill and probably eat this salad. Right. You know, so it's not always about what we want to do. It's about what we have to do. Yeah. You understand that? So I'm very focused on the discipline and just being consistent. Right. You know, I know we always go through hardships and things like that, but that's life. Right. Life hits you in the gut. You gotta get up and keep fighting. Yeah, you gotta hit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Things always happen to us. We can't be on no wham goo gaga. Nah, man, ain't nobody coming to save you. You gotta come and do the work for yourself. So absolutely. To me, those principles is what I always use, and that's what's helped me since I've been doing this all this time. Right. So how would you define success? What is your definition of success? I would say success is whatever you want to accomplish and you go after. It doesn't necessarily have to be an entrepreneur. Like me moving from the phones to off the phones, that's success. You know what I mean? Because that's something that I put my mind to. Right. Because I've seen people at my job applied for other positions, and they've been at the job for years and they never got hired for another position that they probably was qualified for. Right. And they hired somebody else in that don't know nothing about this, and they got the job. So me coming from being on the phones, I've spent my whole entire life being at a call center on the phones. And now coming from that into a different position, to me, okay, you reach success. Whatever you want it to be. Right. This is success. You working a 9 to 5 and then you doing your business here. There's people probably getting drunk right now. Right. And you over here making moves, getting views. This is a success. Right. So to me, success doesn't mean you gotta be Diddy or J and all that type of stuff. It's just whatever you choose to put your mind towards, and you actually you accomplished it, and you're making your move towards being greater.
Nice. And where do you see yourself or your business 2 to 4 years from now?
I see my business being a household name because we're more than just a clothing line. You know, we have H9NU Media, where we also are going to be bringing a podcast, I Talk Great. Then we have H9NU University, a nonprofit organization that we have, where we have workshops where we focus on the youth, teaching them about the importance of just self-awareness, cultural awareness, physical and mental health, entrepreneurship, teaching them the difference between rent and mortgage, the importance of credit, things that they're not going to learn in school.
Right.
You know, because I believe that school teaches our children how to be employees versus being employers.
Right.
You know, so I feel like, hey, you know what? Not knocking school in no type of way, but
it's facts. Like everybody knows.
You should be learning about some credit. I shouldn't be like I learned about credit when I was 32.
Right. I should don't learn nothing about that.
I'm not should be thinking that I should be renting my whole life. You know, let's own some property. That's like what Meek was saying the other day in his little press conference that he had. You know what I mean? Getting away from all these rappers talking about buying chains, and but at the end of the day, half them things are rented.
Right.
But what do you own?
Right.
So if they know the difference between rent and mortgage, then we can have a brighter future for our children.
Right.
And if they know the difference between eating a hamburger and a salad, you know, because we understand that the hamburger tastes good.
You know what happened? The thing is that in other cultures and other races, they're teaching their kids about credit.
Correct.
They're teaching their kids about healthy eating. They're teaching their kids about exercising. And so we not teaching that stuff.
Nope.
We not talking about, okay, we using their credit. Hey, look, I'm gonna use your credit to get this cable. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna use this. By the time you grow, you can't even get. You know what I'm saying? Because your joint already messed up.
Yeah.
And other cultures, they teaching their kids.
They're making sure they know these things.
So when they go into school and they get that education, but at home they're teaching them about credit. They're teaching them about being clean eating, exercising, being a wife, being a husband, what it takes. You know what I'm saying? Outside.
She's back, so let's go.
I can't with you. I cannot. Thanks for holding it down. I
try.
So is there any other things that you want to get out there? Because my questions are pretty much done. So I just want to make sure that if there was anything that I didn't touch that you wanted to get out there and share with the world.
Well, no, I feel like you did a good job. I enjoyed being here, coming all the way from Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
You know, I was just sitting on my phone, scrolling, seeing her do her thing, and it's just astounding that I could actually be here in the flesh and be a part of this greatness, because I know she's gonna go far. You know what I mean? She's been grinding, doing
I've been grinding, y'all.
Yeah, and she could have given up, and she did it. And that's just to go out to the rest of you guys. It's like, you don't give up, man. You might change the direction of the goal, but you don't give up on the goal. You know what I mean? Whatever you have to do. So that's just my thing. But I appreciate her having me here on this platform. Now make sure you go check out www.h9nu.com. I got hats on sale, you know, t-shirts is coming. You know what I mean? If you're up north, we got sweaters, hoodies, all those things coming. Ladies, if you're a model, you want to get at me, holla at me. It's H9NU Wear at gmail.com.
Absolutely. See, you had finished that off for me. I was going to ask you to make sure you go out there and put your websites and all out there, so you got that in the bag.
Thank you.
So I want to thank you for taking the time out to be on my platform. Again, like, it's just a pleasure, like, and it's an honor to, you know, for you to just take time out of your busy schedule and say, listen, I'm in your area, can I be on the show? You know what I'm saying?
Wakanda.
The support is real, y'all. The support is so real. I mean, and it's about to be 2019, and
no more excuses.
No more excuses. I had to get up out my slump. I've been in a slump for the past few weeks. Well, not weeks, maybe about a week. But I had to get up out that slump and realize, you started something, you got to finish it. 2019, I'm looking to have some great people on the show. I'm super excited about some of the connections I've made so far, and the opportunities that I'm gonna have. So thanks to everyone that's been on the show for 2018. Shout out to everybody that's been a guest so far. I truly appreciate everybody's support, and thanks for listening, guys. I do appreciate you. Thanks for listening to the Traveling Pants of a Single Mom. Peace.